Well, good morning, everybody. We're back out on the home build, and the guys have been busy working on the foundation. So it's that time for the foundation. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna take a look at all this form work, see how they form it up. All right, let's take a look. So starting right here, we got our garage happening with all of the roof line coming in. We got a hip and a intersecting roof coming right on this section right here. The engineer decided they needed to have a spread footing or a little pad footing. There's a couple other names for it, but this is a monolithic pour. They're pouring the footing with the stem wall all in one pour. So up here at the top, we got 6 inches. Down towards the bottom, it gets wider on either side, and that sort of thing. Notice that they got banding. This banding goes all the way around, and they use that to keep the concrete from swelling and expanding and that sort of thing. And they need less things to kick it off. So basically these kickers, these braces, there's a few different names for it. What they're there mainly to just to hold the formwork straight, in line, that sort of thing. So, and plumb. But they don't need very many because they have all this banding happening. So you'll see certain areas, like down on the bottom, they have a piece of rebar as a spreader, and that piece of rebar is just going to stay there in the pour. These top pieces of wood, as they get up higher, since they're not pressure treated, they should get pulled out. We'll see if they pull these banding too soon, those won't come out. So it's not going to hurt anything really for it to be there, but it's not quite right. That should be, you'll see in other sections down there, it's a piece of rebar, and to me that's okay. But here's our vents. We got another pad footing right here for the patio that's going across. I'm not sure what the deal is with this right over here. That should be another sonotube or something, so I guess we'll take a look. Moving on, that looks to me like the tops of their formwork right here is to finished floor, so they're going to pour right to the top of that. Looks like a little cute little pad for another post sticking up, and that sort of thing. Braces on the corners, another pad footing right here, and then it has several of these footings out throughout here. These footings, or these formwork, they're not to the height that they're going to be to pour. Looks to me like there's a chalk line. Let's see if I can get a better shot of it. There's a chalk line in here, and they're gonna probably pour right to that chalk line. And oh, there's some grade nails. That's kind of what I was more or less looking for, is these grade nails. They're gonna pour right to those grade nails. That's on top of these footings throughout here. There is going to be some little pony walls that bring a framed wall up to the elevation for basically for the floor joists. So got another sleeve right here for water to drain. If for some reason they got some water in here, it's going to drain through that. It's going to drain through these and that sort of thing. Then we got our step and our footing. Got a step, how they did their steps. Hopefully they pour at a decent rate down, starting at the bottom, flowing up. They'll probably pour that section down there at the bottom to kind of plug it, go pour some other stuff, and then come back to this section. At least that's how I would do it. Here's some hold downs nailed on top of the forms like this. That way your framing can get anchored from the roof all the way down to the foundation. So, and then there also should be J-bolts that they probably still got to put in and that sort of thing. But over in this section over here, they have this is the stairwell. Stairs are going to go up, turn, go this direction. This little spread right here is going to carry a load of a beam. It's going to go up and over. So we paid extra to have a beam. We wanted to get rid of a post that was in the island, and that's what this bigger footing over here with inside the wall, it's going to have a post and a beam going over basically to that footing right there. So pretty excited. Got spreaders on top. Those spreaders on top are to help keep the forms from as the name implies, spreading apart. Got a step in the footing here, and then got our rebar. It's looking pretty good. Some big pad footings over here. I didn't realize they were going to be quite as big as they are, but I'm okay with more concrete. Bigger's better in some aspects. So we got a 4-foot stem wall right here because I want concrete backing up to it. So right in the middle, they got a tie that holds and anchors the formwork, as well as they got the banding that goes around this tie right here. On the other side's got a wedge pin. There are some other names for it out there, but that's something that you're gonna have to learn out in the field. I won't get into what that is. Then we got other spreaders on top, keeps the forms from spreading apart. Just enough braces, keep things in line, in place, that sort of thing. All this work, it's taken them, let's see, Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days. 3 days to do all this work. So I'm pretty impressed and that sort of thing. Down here on the bottom, we got the footing comes through, so they're gonna have to pour this, kind of seal up that bottom, come around towards the top after that bottom sets up some. So they might even have that truck, the first truck or so, they're just going to do the bottom of the footing all the way around, let that set up for 45 minutes, hour or so, and then come back, and then they'll pour the top. What's holding the forms up, I don't know if you can quite see, but there's a pressure treated wood stake that's down there that they nailed in place, and the formwork is sitting on top of that. And they're every so often. Here's another one down there with it's kind of painted red on top. And let's see, you can see, you can't quite see it, but it's right there. I'm gonna try to get a shot. There's one right here, right there. I'm just kind of looking down, up at it, and that sort of thing. We got our venting. I'm gonna go over here. Here's another sleeve for water to get drained through. This is actually blocked out right here. That's for access, crawl in the crawl space. So there should be one over here as well, which it is right here, which is awesome. And a sleeve. That rebar looks like it fell, so we'll have to bend that up or whatnot. What about on this side? Gotta make sure we look at everything. Looks to me like it'll hold concrete, that's for sure. So there's only about 100 different ways of forming concrete, and the best way is the safest way, the fastest way, and it's your way pretty much. So lots of different ways of doing it. Everybody's got a different idea, plan. You just got to pick one and do the best you can. Go with it. This is how they've done it. Seems to work, and it's only 3 days, and which they vary about 4 guys for 2 days. The first day they had, I think, 5 or 6 to kind of help spread things out, but they were only here half a day last Friday, so they weren't even here for a full day. So yeah, that looks good. What I'm wanting to go over here for is there should be sleeves for plumbing, for gas, the electric grounding should be happening somewhere in here. So this is something I wanted to look for to remind our, we got something happening right down there on the bottom, and that actually is for the whole foundation. If it did get water in here, is for it to drain. What I want to put up in here is, which I don't see, is the sleeves for gas, water, and sewer. So need to get some sleeves for that, so that those 4-inch pipes, that 4-inch inside diameter pipe for sewer can go through. We've got a gas line, and we have a 1-inch PEX water line that needs to go through. I'd rather not core drill those. I'd have to get a core driller out here, and I'd rather not have to deal with that. So I guess that might be a task that I need to do, is see about getting some sleeves through here. So and then everything else, we got the step of the grade. This is so awesome. Can't wait for it to pour. Pour days are always fun, stressful a little bit, and then you're done. But that way you got to see if everything holds up. And then when it's hard and gray, they can strip, and we got a foundation. So, well, we're back out on the home build, and we're getting ready to pour the foundation. We got a concrete pump. Makes it a lot easier on up and over. That's really the only way to go. I was thinking they might end up having just a line pump, but that's much easier. We're gonna have concrete here shortly and work on it. So like we talked about yesterday, they're gonna probably start with the foundation, the footing, and then they're gonna be working on the stem wall. Once that foundation kind of sets up some. So we got Gemini Concrete pumping out here, and we got Parker Concrete. They're the ones that are forming up the concrete. So pretty excited. It's that time. Should go talk to the foreman, make sure he's okay. There we go. Concrete's backing up. They use lots of form oil on the forms, so that's easier to strip. Being careful, which they weren't quite so careful, getting it on the rebar. You shouldn't get form oil on the rebar. It should have been sprayed before they put it on, but they sprayed it pretty heavy. Not too happy about that, but we'll see. That's something I'll talk to Dare about. Come on up here and look at this. But you can see it's all saturated with oil. They reuse these forms over and over and over again. It'd be really expensive to pour concrete if it was a one-time use for these forms, but they've probably been used, I bet you they've been reused so far like 30 times before they get to the point where they just can't use it anymore. Okay, so where they're at right now, they're just getting started. They're gonna pour right at the step. So they're gonna let that set up. Talking with the foreman. They're We're gonna go all the way around just on the footing portion, and then while that gets set up, then they'll come back at the end where they started and do the wall. So right now the Knife River, the truck that they have, it's got 10 3/4 yards of concrete. It's going to be 3 trucks, right about 30, a little over 30 yards that they got scheduled anyhow. And it's 3,000, the mix is a 3,000 psi. So that's what they got going right now. Working away, working around. You can see how much easier it is to work that pump, especially with a good operator. And here it comes. No, I don't think so. He might be his cousin though, maybe. So we got a carpenter on each side checking the forms. So if they're using the hammer, they're vibrating it, getting those air pockets out, that sort of thing. Rather than using a vibrator. If they use a vibrator, it could put a lot more pressure on it. So using the hammers and to snap all that air out, working their way around. Well, have a look at this. This is just an absolute beautiful sight. Concrete forms have all been stripped. Everything's hard and gray. And forms are all stripped. Give you an idea of what it looks like. So we had a monolithic pour. Poured the stem wall and the footing all together at the same time. That same day, they were stripping the forms down for the footings because they, you know, as we said before and showed before, they were poured the footings first and then they poured the stem walls after, because it's they poured them all at the same time, but you go around pouring all the footings first, and by the time the truck gets back around at the beginning, you can start pouring the walls, and it's not going to slough out and that sort of thing. So when they were wet setting these anchor bolts, these J bolts here, where they started, they were stripping the footing forms. It's pretty amazing how quickly concrete sets up and takes care of all of this. So this is what it looks like. Here's the garage. You can see it's amazing the difference that it looks when all the forms are stripped. So next steps, part of our home build is backfilling, French drain or footing drain or perimeter drain. There's like 3 different names. Rain drain, a few things like that. But other than that, it looks great. These little piles we'll clean up, take care of. We'll actually put it back in here in the garage area because this all gets backfilled up to close to that red line there. It's actually 7 inches below, but this is what it looks like. Kind of give you some views on the all around. We got a few sleeves. Got a sleeve down here on the bottom for water. We got a sleeve for our perimeter or our foundation drain, for sewer going through, and so just 3 sleeves. But this is what it looks like on the back of the house, where we're going to be backfilling and doing a whole bunch of stuff. Pretty excited, actually. Yeah, very excited, because I get to get rid of all this dirt and backfill now. It opens up a bunch of work. Here in about 3 weeks is when the framer is going to be coming out. That's as soon as we could get them scheduled to come out and start their portion of the work. So pretty excited. 4 foot of stem wall. Got our footing down at the bottom, 6-inch footing, and that sort of thing. So hopefully you enjoyed this portion of the house build. This is the foundation. This is where everything starts. So for our house build, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Northwest Carpenter, and I look forward to seeing you again on the next phase of this project, which will probably be the foundation drain. So see you next time.